Emmanuel, no gays. Emmanuel, no gays. Emmanuel. How many times have I mentioned your name?
3 times.
Friends, let's listen to this.
The so-called Bro Lawrence and House, all of those men, they would even invite Satan himself, as long as Satan tells them that he has something against Emmanuel. And those men, Bro Lawrence, House, and a few others, even James himself, they would give Satan a platform. As long as Satan has something to say about Emmanuel, they will give Satan a platform. And they will believe everything that Satan has to say.
You know, Emmanuel, the leader of Amazing World Ministries, he thinks that Bro Lawrence hates him. But Emmanuel, I just want you to know that I don't hate you. I don't. We are all brothers, I don't hate you. But, there are videos and reports coming out on the internet about you. And those reports are not good. You yourself made videos about some of these things. They are not good reports. So we want you to allow yourself for God to change you, because the reports that are coming out is negatively affecting the Present Truth Ministries. Even Pastor Henriquez of Saved to Serve, addressed some of these issues just last 3 days.
Based on various events transpiring, it is now, while the fishes are biting, you put the bait in. This must serve as a warning for those who are in rebellion towards Jesus, those who are in apostasy based on the Bible and spirit of prophecy, those who are parading their public sins. This is going to be your final warning. And for all the others who are sympathizers, may this midday power surge also serve as a warning to you. Probation is fast closing. As we say in Jamaica, the idiom, the colloquial saying, who the cap fit, let them wear it. And secondly, in Jamaica, we would say, you throw a stone in the hog's pen, the pig's pen. Whichever one squeals, got hit. And these are going to be general principles from the Bible and the book, The Great Controversy. Stay tuned for that. Well, my friends, there it is. There are professed Seventh-day Adventist preachers, plural, who are a greater danger to present truth than the Pope and his allies. There are professed SDA preachers, ministers, Bible workers, missionaries, medical missionaries, who are a plague, I said it, a plague to genuine revival and reformation. Normally, I would build up to a crescendo. I'm going to share with you the particular statement from the book Great Controversy that just confirmed what I said. A plague, a greater danger to revival, reformation, present truth. In the book Great Controversy, page 187, this is about Luther, Martin Luther, the Protestant reformer. It states, Luther at Wartburg, hearing of what had occurred, said with deep concern, I always expected that Satan would send us this plague. He perceived the true character of those pretended prophets and saw the danger that threatened the cause of truth. The opposition of the Pope, the opposition of the Emperor, had not caused Luther so great perplexity and distress as he now experienced. From the professed friends of the Reformation had risen its worst enemies. The very truths which had brought him so great joy and consolation were being employed to stir up strife and create confusion in the church. Is that point clear, my friends? The fanatics, the extremists who attached themselves to the Reformation, to Protestantism in the days of Martin Luther. Luther said that they were a plague to revival and reformation, a plague sent from Satan. He said that they were the worst enemies. They were a greater enemy to the cause of revival, reformation, present truth than the Pope and the King, the Emperor. Than church and state union, they were a greater threat and danger to present truth, a greater danger to the souls of those who are listening to God's word in the world and in the church. Lord have mercy.
All right, friends, that was Pastor Henriquez, and I really like the video. I really like the video he made addressing some of these issues within the present truth circles. Friends, it is time that all present truth ministers come out and talk about some of these issues. It is time that all SDA YouTubers come out and talk about some of these issues, because this seems to be a disgrace to present truth ministries. You know, public sins are addressed publicly. So it is important for SDA YouTubers, SDA present truth preachers to come out and talk about some of these things and advise some of our brothers, advise some of the ministers, advise them to live their lives according to thus saith the Lord. Friends, you know, let me talk about this particular video online. There was a video about somebody actually transferring or taking $100,000 from Amazing Word Ministries account. You know, I hope you have seen that video. Now, I have some questions to ask about that video. I have some questions to ask about that particular video. Friends, is Amazing Word Ministries a family-run business? That is the question. Is Amazing Word Ministries a family-run business? Is it like Chukwudi and Sons Church in Nigeria? Look at this signboard, right? Chukwudi and Sons Church in Nigeria. And you know, when a church becomes a business, this is what happens. No accountability, no financial report, nothing. So I'm only asking a question. Is Amazing Word Ministries run just like Chukwudi and Sons Church? Is it a family business? So I want to say this, you know, I am not against Emmanuel. I have said it. I don't hate him. He is a brother. He is a present truth minister. I am an Adventist YouTuber. All right. I am an Adventist YouTuber. He is a present truth minister. But friends, it is time to call a spade a spade. It is time to tell the truth to ministers that need to hear them. Friends, and sometimes I wonder if Amazing Word Ministry is like a cult. I just don't know. Sometimes I wonder. And I want to explain to you why I'm saying this. You know, these cults that have emerged in some parts of the world, like they have been able to psych the minds of their followers to the extent that even when their leaders are doing things wrong, they don't see. But the sad thing is that, friends, most followers of cult leaders, I am not saying Emmanuel is a cult leader, but I am saying that most followers of cult leaders become the victims of the bad actions of the leader. And another bad thing or funny thing is that whatever you tell the followers about their leader, they do not listen until they become a victim, until they become victims of the bad actions of their cult leader. Friends, it is high time we become vigilant of what is taking place, not only in the SDA church, but also within Present Truth Ministries. Yes, and as I said, we all need to talk about this because it has come out publicly. There are videos, there are audios, there are screenshots of messages that are out there publicly, and many of you guys know. And you know, they will come under the comment and say, why don't you use Matthew 18? Matthew 18. That's what some of the people, some of their followers will come under the comments and say, why don't you use Matthew 18? The boss that you are following, has he been using Matthew 18? Has he been using Matthew 18 when attacking church leaders, SDA church leaders? When talking about them, has he been using Matthew 18? But when it gets to him, he wants everybody to use Matthew 18. Friends, let me tell you the facts. When you stretch your hand or when you point your finger at somebody, you know, only this one points to the person, but the remaining three points back to you.
That preacher who made this video you sent to me, has he ever used Matthew 18 to contact me?
When some of these preachers are talking about SDA church leaders, they never use Matthew 18. They never contact them privately and discuss with them, but they come out and they talk. But when it turns around and hits them, they want everybody to use Matthew 18. Friends, this is not going to be accepted. Public sins are addressed publicly. So, you know, people call it Amazing Word Ministry, but I call it Amazing False Ministries. Amazing False Ministries. Like it or throw it away. Amazing False Ministries or Amazing Scam Ministries.
The so-called Bro Lawrence and House, all of those men, they would even invite Satan himself, as long as Satan tells them that he has something against Emmanuel. And those men, Bro Lawrence, House, and a few others, even James himself, they would give Satan a platform.
Emmanuel, we are praying for you. Yes, you know, there are some people that never mention your name, but Lawrence, you know, I'll mention your name for you to know that I'm addressing you. I want to say this. Yes, I want to say this. I think this may be the last video I am making about some of these issues. So if you are a follower of Amazing False Ministries, continue to follow. I rest my case right here. There are more stories coming up, so don't go anywhere. Stay right here. God bless.